Hey everybody and welcome back to a new Dark Souls playthrough. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames. It's another chat-through with me, your host, Ornstein. We're going to be doing an Ornstein playthrough. I'm not sure if it's the mods I've installed or what, but this Ornstein armor doesn't look gold at all. I don't know, maybe it's the Sweet FX mod I have installed, or Reshade, or something. I don't know. This is going to be New Game Plus. I believe it's the first New Game Plus. We have Poison Mist equipped, but we'll unequip that as soon as I can get to Bonfire and get rid of that, because we're not going to use it. We're going to try to be authentic to the Ornstein build and use only Ornstein gear. I haven't upgraded the armor set because I believe you can't. I think boss armor sets are unupgradable. I may end up using a Ferris longbow with this, or just a bow in general, because sometimes it's useful to have a ranged weapon, although this does actually have a ranged attack on it. I want to buy some resin or dust. What is it called? Let me see if I have any. Oh yeah, repair powder. I want to get plenty of that because of this. Wait, hang on, that wasn't it. This. So I have a lightning shot, however, it drains... How much durability? 20 durability per shot. So there you go. We're gonna undo that, and let's do a little bit of cleanup. So the discussion point for today is going to be a continuation of the Manosphere topics we've discussed before. Today, in particular, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. You know, it's really not going to be that important that we dump all this junk, because I wish there was a dump. Remove all from box. Deposit all to box. Hang on. What is it, this deposit all to box? Down on the right stick? Oh, that's just a deposit all of the particular item, not all items in general. Darn it. That sucks. I wish I could deposit everything except what I have equipped. That'd be cool. I'm sort of finding this way to do it really quickly right here by manipulating this. Let's keep the Ferris longbow. And then we will get rid of everything else except for the skull lantern, if we have it, although it looks like we don't. Today's topic of choice is going to be talking about mental point of origin, excuse me, as it relates to the Manosphere, the Red Pill, talking about issues involving men, relationships, dating, and the like. Mental point of origin is an interesting topic because you could do an entire series on mental point of origin. And if you hear my voice crack, by the way, it is not only because I'm still going through puberty at nearly 40 years old, but because of my non-stop allergies that just cause me to hack and cough up phlegm all day long, which is, of course, really fun considering this coronavirus bullshit that's out there, and everyone thinks that every time somebody coughs, they have the coronavirus. I'm going to hang on to the Sunlight Maggot just for fun. And then, as for rings, we don't need any doubles. We don't need that. We're definitely not going to use that. We're definitely not going to use that. Let's see. Okay. No. Okay. That's good enough. I think we've cleaned up sufficiently there. We can get rid of these items as well because we're playing offline, so there's no point in any of that nonsense. Eye of Death, don't need that either. Don't need any of these carvings. Okay. And Soul of Gwyn we'll leave in there. I don't use that. Dried Finger. Okay. Good to go, guys. Awesome. So, oh, now it looks kind of gold. I guess it depends on the lighting, huh? That lighting down there in the dungeon made it look completely silver. Here we go. We are going to tackle this boss the first time around. No need to wait to grab that weapon. We've already got a perfectly serviceable weapon right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he got me. I poised through it. 1. Oh, damn, that's a lot of damage. Woo. Wow. This is New Game Plus, right? I almost felt like New Game right there. Unfortunately, you still can't get through that door. You have to go the long route. Are we allowed to level up yet? No. Not until we get back to Firelink Shrine. Mental point of origin. It is all about where you start in your thought process. And I may describe this a little differently than Rollo Tomasi would in his book, The Rational Male. That's what this is based on. This is not my concept. I didn't invent this. What I did come up with myself is coffee. I invented the concept of coffee. I'm going to push the French press down, the plunger on the French press down into the French press. If you don't know what a French press is, Google it real quick. And I'm going to pour this coffee ASMR style. Ready? Listen. I've poured an entire mug of coffee into a mug from a French press. Okay, so it's into this mug that my girlfriend got me for Valentine's Day. For those that don't know, I got divorced, and I've got a girlfriend now. So anyway, long story short, very long story short, I made French press coffee. Well, coffee in a French press. Starts with Starbucks espresso beans. That's the darkest I can find. That's reasonably priced and easy to find at your average grocery store. I grind it myself and then put it in a French press. Oh no, it's the ball. Oh, it actually did hit me. Interesting. That's crazy. Balls. It actually does not matter whether you talk to him or just kill him. It changes nothing. He will still attempt to fight you later on when you come back here. So it's irrelevant. Mental point of origin, guys. It is, as Rollo Tomasi would put it, and I recommend you read that book, The Rational Male. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is where you start. It is enlightened self-interest. It's not pure selfishness, although there's a self element to it, obviously. The idea is that you don't act like most men. Most men have this notion that their goal in life is to basically perform service to a woman. And you may hear that and think, well, you're crazy, Fox. That's not what... I've never thought that way. But you think about it this way. When men talk about what they need to do with their lives or where they're going to go or what they're going to do, oftentimes it does revolve around the woman in their life. In their lives, whether it's a wife or a long-term girlfriend or even a short-term girlfriend that they don't know is short-term. Men will often decide what their major in college is, where they go to college, if they go to college, what job they take, where they move, where they live. They'll often make these decisions based primarily, if not solely, on what they need to do to stay with a woman or to keep a relationship with a woman going. And in that regard, you're really doing it for the woman. Because if your mental point of origin were you, let me see, I think this works right here. Let me turn around so that if I hop off, if I backstep, I don't die. If your mental point of origin were just you, yourself, and you know, me, myself, and I, then you would decide where to go to college based on only your goals in life. And when I say that, I mean, what do you want to accomplish for yourself? Not what is your goal for your girlfriend or your relationship. I thought I got rid of that orange guy in soapstone. Alright, maybe next time. We'll drop one of these. I can't remember what they give me for these, so whatever. I'm in offline mode just so it doesn't tell you the restricted. I did edit the save file a bit so I could get to some of my playthroughs a bit faster, and they detected fraudulent data on my account. And I guess I'm banned from going online. I'm not sure if they'll ever unban me. I thought that'd be a bigger deal than it is, but you know, who really plays this game online that much anymore? I was having some fun online, but I don't really like sit and play online like I used to back in the day. Back in the day, I used to sit in the forest and host. And I would just fight everyone that came into the forest and have a great time. And, you know, we didn't make rules for ourselves. We didn't think of it as a duel. We didn't say you couldn't heal. We didn't say you can't use Tranquil Walk of Peace or you can't do... No, it was just whatever. It was I like to call it the forest free-for-all. and it was really fun. Everyone that did it pretty much enjoyed it. There would be the occasional oddball invader who would freak out because they didn't understand that, you know, we don't create artificial arbitrary rules. We just play the game as is, and that was a lot of fun. And that was me back in the day, pushing for people to play the game as is without making up all these rules about dueling, and you can't heal, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and let's see, here we go. So mental point of origin is best described as you doing for you because you want to do something. So if for example, your goal is to be the best network engineer that you can be. You want to be a network engineer. That's your goal in life, okay? Then what you would do is, I think there's something else I have that I can drop. Oh, one of these.
No.
Oh, no, not one of those. Okay. She clearly said no. No. I don't want that. Don't give that to me. Okay, fine. Chill out. It's okay. And I think that's the last thing we have other than the skull lantern, which I only have one, so I don't want to give that up. So if you wanted to be a network engineer, you would decide which college to go to, or which university to go to, or what trade school to go to based only on which would give you the best results. And so you may determine that, you know what, I want to go to the cheapest school where I can get the training. So you might go to a 2-year technical school or something of that sort, or community college that has a networking program. However, if your mental point of origin, instead of yourself, were actually a woman, say it's your long-term girlfriend. Let's say you've been in a relationship since your sophomore year in high school, and you've been dating the same girl for, 2 years now. You're graduating high school. By the way, I think that'd be a mistake to date the same girl for 2 years in high school. High school is a great time to meet different girls, not to stick with the same one. And a great time to date a girl that you normally wouldn't, just to see what it's like, is summertime. Because you're not there in school, and you can kind of get away with dating girls, and most other guys and your friends and people at school won't even know that you were dating, because it was in the summer. So you can kind of date whoever you want. So if there's this girl that's kind of a nerdy girl, and you're worried about it hurting your reputation because you're one of the jocks, well, you can date her in the, let's see. Oh, I could, can I upgrade my Estus flask again yet? No, but I can go get one. But we'd have to do a suicide run? Oh, you know what? 10,000 souls, who cares? Let's go do a quick suicide run to grab a Firelink, or a Firekeeper soul. And actually, we'll probably just Homeward Bone out. That'll be better than dying. Save 10,000 souls. So you can date her in the summertime. If you're under 30 as a rough number to put on it, if you're under 30, don't seriously date any woman. Don't get into a serious long-term relationship. All of your relationships sub 30 years old should be casual and short-lived. That's my opinion. Now, granted, if you're 28 and you met this really great woman and you're where you want to be in life and she's where she wants to be and you guys are in the same area and you're going in the same direction, okay, whatever, that's fine. These aren't hard and fast rules. It's not like you're gonna meet this girl that seems an ideal match for you. You seem a great match for her. Everything's going well. You're both where you want to be in life. But you're like, well, I'm 29 and a half years old, and Fox said under 30, I can't be serious. No, that's not what I mean by that. I think everyone should understand that a lot of these things are just general concepts. And are, as a general rule, not hard and fast, absolute, musts. So please don't take these all as gospel, 10 commandments. These are more like guidelines. Go, 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 go. Yes! Barely made it before I got smacked by the ghosts. So, if you were into that networking thing, you would do what's best for you, and that's it. And if you had a girlfriend at the time, let's say you'd been dating her for 2 years, really shouldn't have been, but you were anyway. You would tell her, well, I got to go off to this college. This is the best one for me. I really appreciate the time we had together. It was great. She's going to cry and say she doesn't want you to leave. Why don't you come here? You can just go to this college. They have a similar program. We can stay together. No, because she'll turn around and leave you as soon as something comes up for her. And that, I'm not saying that happens 100% of the time, but most of the time that's the case. You end up making all these sacrifices for a woman, and, you know, you think she's going to reciprocate, right? But in the end, that's not at all what happens. In the end, she ends up leaving you. So, now in my case, a lot of people, when they hear red pill concepts like the ones I'm describing, their instant reaction is to sort of think, well, who hurt you? You must have had a bad experience. Well, you dated the wrong woman, or, you know, stuff like that. It's this notion that, you know, as long as you date the, quote, right women, or as long as you have good experiences, that none of what I say is going to be true for you. I just don't think that's the case. I would say over 95% of the time, all of these principles apply, if not more, because they take into account these sort of biological realities about how men and women function, especially in modern society, and you can't opt out of it. I like what Rollo Tomasi said in his first book. Well, actually, it was one of his live streams or one of his videos on YouTube. He said, the thing here is that you have to understand, you cannot opt out of these realities by just being like, well, I'm not going to play this game. They are realities. They will affect you. They affect everybody. And even if you say, well, you know, I'm just not going to date any women, and therefore I opt out. No, well, this will affect your relationship with your mom or sister or daughter or female coworkers or female supervisors or bosses, or, you know, or women that you deal with at, I don't know, any store or as a customer, or whether you're the boss and you're dealing with women, employees underneath you, your subordinates. These realities affect you whether you want them to or not. You cannot opt out. It's like saying that, you know, you want to opt out of breathing oxygen. I mean, I guess you can, but you're dead. You know what I mean? The only way you can opt out of this game is just by dying. And no one here is suggesting to do that, okay? The solution here is not to off yourself and be like, well, I'm done. Don't have to worry about them women's now. I think that's ultimately, you know, losing. That's not winning, that's losing, okay? That's not a solution. That's a delusion, if that were a word. It's not. So the solution here is not to try to opt out, not to try to find a way around it, not to try to deny it and say, well, this isn't how it works because I don't like that, and I don't like how it sounds, and it doesn't sound good, and I don't like where that's going. Whether you like where something's going or not doesn't change that it's going that direction. I think the best case is to stop sleepwalking through life, is to see reality for what it is, recognize that, hey, this is the way things are. You know, they're not ever going to fundamentally change. I need to recognize the nature of men and women and just kind of deal with it as is. All right, so let's push through this. I'm kind of going about this the way I normally do. In my last couple playthroughs, I went some different directions. Like, I think we went and defeated Quelaag first before the Taurus Demon, maybe went to the forest and took out the Hydra and did a couple other things. And that was fun, kind of changing things up. Did not mean to kick. You guys know me, I have a passionate hatred of the kick controls in this game. I almost never mean to kick when I do, and when I want to kick, I often fail to kick because I end up attacking by mistake. But here's the good thing about having a spear. Got that guy. Now, I would like to get the Ring of Favor and Protection and see if I can fast roll. I don't know. I haven't done the math. I tend to just wait, put it on, and see. I know I could just do some math, but I don't for whatever reason. So back to the mental point of origin. Again, the idea behind it is, what would you do for you for your own benefit and no one else's? A lot of guys talk about things that show to me that they don't have themselves as the mental point of origin. I think the most common reality is that most guys do not have themselves as their mental point of origin. Wow, they are doing a lot of damage to me. So this is definitely a new game. Plus, that is. I mean, plus. Wait, is this... Oh, does that drop down with the... Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Oh, no, it drops down right there. Okay. For some reason, I thought that dropped down where the Black Knight was. I don't know why I thought that. So, most men reveal to me that they don't have themselves as a mental point of origin. I have a coworker who was talking to me about living at home and all this other stuff, and I said, well, you know, I imagine he makes good money. I know how much money he makes. He's a coworker of mine. And he told me he has a lot saved up, and he would have no problem moving out, except he said something about his mom didn't want him to move out. And that's an example of where the woman who has control over him, essentially where he gives her control, I should say, is his mother, not even a girlfriend or wife. And that's usually what I'm referring to when I talk about men supplicating to women, men making women their mental point of origin. It's almost always the case that that man makes it his wife or girlfriend. But in this case, you know, it's a man making it his mother. He's decided that his mother makes the decisions for him. Why hasn't he moved out of the house? His mom. Now, if your mental point of origin were yourself, then your answer would be, why haven't you moved out of your parents' house? The answer would be me. Me something. You would have some reason that you personally decided not to. Maybe your reason would be, well, I'm saving to buy my own house so I don't have to pay rent right now. Or I'm going to community college and I want to save up money and not have to pay for my own place. Or maybe it's I'm waiting for the market to take a downward turn because right now the housing market's real high. Maybe it's something else. Whatever it happens to be, you make yourself your mental point of origin. Now, this is where a lot of people could say something like this. Well, Fox, what about if your mom is really sick and you're the sole caretaker? All right, I understand that. I get that. That's, you know, we're talking about a scenario in which you are taking care of someone who can't take care of themselves, such as a child. What if you have a child with Down syndrome and you have to be there for them? You know, do you make yourself your own mental point of origin and ignore your child? No. I don't think, like I said, these are general rules. I don't think what I'm saying here is that you say, to hell with everyone else, I do whatever I want. That's not the purpose of it. You know, I don't... Yeah, we'll tackle him just for the hell of it. There's certainly no reason to throw everyone to the wayside and intentionally hurt people just to show, ho, I only do things for myself. But the idea is that you make decisions based on what's best for you as a general rule. And that is a foreign concept to a lot of men. I can tell you that right now. I can tell by the way men act, by the things men do, by the things I believed and did. And these are very much parts of kind of the societal programming in a lot of men. In lots of different societies. It's standard for men to sacrifice for their family. Now, women do sacrifice for their family. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here trying to say that women don't sacrifice at all. But there's a unique sacrifice that men make that women don't. Men will go to work and sacrifice time with their kids, time with their family. They'll put in all these overtime hours just trying to make enough money to improve the living situation of those at the house while sacrificing his own situation. So these men will be at work and eat 10, 12, 16 hours a day, busting their butt, trying to make sure that the rest of their family gets to enjoy the good life. But not so much them. They're not really enjoying the good life. They're at work, busting their ass nonstop. The idea here is that if you are your own mental point of origin... Oh shit. I'm dead if I... Oh shit. Here we go. Woo! And done. That was close. I almost died. Grass Crest Shield. I'd put that on my back, but it would kind of break the aesthetic of being Ornstein. If you don't want to use a shield, but don't care about having one just on your back, put that one on your back and you'll just get the passive stamina benefit from it. No reason not to, unless, you know, you're doing a cosplay playthrough, which is what I'm doing pretty much. I don't do roleplay playthroughs. I just don't know what would I talk about if I pretended to be a Black Knight. Black Knights are silent. I could do a silent roleplay playthrough. So I wrote down a note here about mental point of origin, some notes. The question I think most men should ask themselves is your first thought when something comes up, some life change or some decision that comes up in your life, is your first thought about how it will affect you, or is your first thought about how it will affect your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your kids? And here I really want to focus on men who, with all the best of intentions, put their wives above themselves, and as a result end up sort of ruining their relationships and to some extent ruining their own lives. If your first thought is, well, gee, how is this going to affect... You know what? I forgot to use the Firekeeper's Soul. Oh, well. If your first thought is, gee, how will this affect my wife? Will she like it if I do this? Or is she going to get mad at me if such and such? And, you know, I realized why I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time with this. It's because I have extremely low health, given that this is New Game Plus. But we'll see what we can do here. Okay. I gotta be careful here. Oh shit. Oh. Whew. Damn. Okay, gotta try not to run out of health here. I don't have a shield, and I've never really been one to always dodge their attacks. I typically don't dodge this guy's attacks, I typically just block them. Whew, that was a close one. I think the closer I am in general, the less likely it is to get hit, but I don't know. We'll see. Whew, I only got him once. There we go. Where's he at? Okay. Only half? Jeez. This does always take longer than I anticipate. So, if your first thought is, gee, how's this going to affect my wife, then most likely your mental point of origin is your wife, not you. And what's interesting is how many men will defend that on the notion that they think that's a good thing, like that's what men are supposed to do. And one of the first steps to Red Pill is realizing that this is not a good thing. This will end up hurting you and your family in the end. And it's a negative conditioning that you got from society in general, where you've been misled into believing that by sacrificing yourself, you're doing good for your family. The ultimate result is that, for one reason or another, you end up hurting yourself and your family in this misguided attempt to sacrifice for them. Let's see if I can get him to be a little closer here. Nope. Let's try right there. If he gets the closer angle, I can hit him. Nope, now he's going to do that far away. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Let's see if I can shoot him from here. Let's see if I can get him when he comes in. Oh, it doesn't do any more damage, so... Here we go, here we go. I gotta... It's really hard to aim these things, that's what sucks about it. Oh no. The weapon is at risk. I need to buy more repair powder. Because that didn't repair it all the way. See? I think I got him in 1 or 2 shots. There we go. That's our emergency long-range weapon. So very Ornstein. And the armor set that we don't need. Let's do this. Drop. 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 Alright, have we picked up any other junk that we don't need? Well, I don't know if I picked that one up yet in this playthrough, so we'll leave that as is. Alright. So now we can go free Dusk, because we'll probably do the DLC in this playthrough. We didn't do it on the last one. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I have a new series. The first episode is live on my channel, at least as of the recording of this. We may have 2 episodes live on the channel by the time you see this. The new series is called Reviewing My Steam Library, where I go through all the games in my library on Steam and just take a quick look at them, kind of give it an overview of the settings and how well it performs, and a sort of first impressions of my take of the game. Obviously, I can't fully, review every game start to finish. That's just, that would take way too long. Don't have that much time, unfortunately, but I think you guys will enjoy it. It's a format for me to get games in, game reviews that is, or sort of reviews, on the channel at a pretty fast pace, because it doesn't really take me too long to play the games for just a little bit, get a good idea, a feel for it, and then talk about kind of the opinion that people have on the game, opinion I have on the game, the settings, graphical settings, performance, all that cool stuff. Alright, let's see what we can do with this guy. Wow, this is gonna take a bit. Oh no, it's not that bad. Okay, I couldn't exactly see the health bar from that angle. Woo! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, there we go. Okay. I need more health, and I didn't realize, but this Ornstein armor is not that great. I gotta be honest with you. At least it doesn't seem to have very high defense value. Everything is hitting me pretty hard. That, and I just need more health because I'm only at what? 29 vitality, so I'm gonna dump all the levels into vitality for a while here. Want to get that up to 40, so I need another 11 levels. So as the mental point of origin becomes more and more clear to you, you'll understand why it's so important. You'll see guys making bad decisions, and you'll try to explain it to them, and they won't get it, and they'll get offended, and they'll think that you're selfish, and they'll think like you don't care about your family or your wife or your kids. You know what I mean? Because blue-pilled guys living in that blue pill reality, beta guys living in a blue pill reality, just don't get it. They just don't. And until they have their eyes opened to what's really going on, they'll continue to make these sacrifices for others that end up hurting them in the end, and in the long run don't do them any good whatsoever. And I can say this though, once a woman decides to leave a man, like, all bets are off. All the sacrifices he made to facilitate her reality, as Rollo Tomasi would say, they do not matter. She does not care. She will take him for everything that she can and then tell everyone how horrible he was, even though he sacrificed everything for her. I mean, he could, like, give up his life, passions, his dreams, his ambitions, everything, and she'll just turn around and act like he was the worst person in the world, deny him access to his kids, take everything she can in the divorce, make him pay some exorbitant child support amount, and then, of course, at some point, he'll end up realizing, oh, one of my kids isn't even my own, or none of them are. He'll have 2 or 3 kids with her that actually he didn't have. They were someone else's kids. She was cheating on him the whole time. Now, that wasn't my case. I lost my train of thought earlier when I was talking about how a lot of people say, well, who hurt you? You must have had a bad experience. Not my case. Most of what I'm saying here doesn't apply to me. Some does. I will talk about it when I can. But I do specifically want to state what doesn't apply to me, because if I, had been burned in that way, obviously I'd be pretty disgruntled about it. If I had a wife that had cheated on me and fathered had a child with another man, and I thought the child was mine. That's not the case for me. My child is mine. And to my knowledge, my ex-wife never cheated on me. Not that it would even matter at this point. It wouldn't. You have to get to the point that I'm at, and I'm very proud of the point I'm at, because I literally do not care if she had cheated on me. Someone could tell me that she had cheated on me, and it wouldn't matter. Only thing that would matter to me is if is the guy, like, still in her life, and is he going to be good to my son when he's there with my son? That's what matters. And Number 2 is I just want to make sure I didn't get an STD, but by now I think I'd know. Other than that, I wouldn't even care. Now, if it were like a guy I knew that was supposed to be a friend of mine, I think in that case, the issue there wouldn't be that he slept with my wife so much, like, you know, that I'm offended and hurt that my wife cheated on me. That wouldn't be the issue that my wife cheated on me. The issue there would be that he betrayed me as a friend. Because there's 2 different sides to when you have a friend or brother or someone you know sleep with your girl. The issue there is you can be upset and worried about your girl cheating on you. That's one thing, which I'm not in this case. Well, at least not my ex-wife. I wouldn't want my current girlfriend cheating on me, obviously. But you can also be offended and hurt that someone you thought was your friend or brother betrayed your trust. So those are 2 different angles for that. I think I'll be able to stagger him. Darn it. Not if he jumps back. You know, I'm going to get him past that drop-off point right there, because I have been knocked down there before and don't want to do that again. Goodbye, Taurus Demon. It's funny, in a lot of cases, this would be the end of the first episode at 45 minutes. But we're only at 36 minutes, and I've defeated Havel, and I've defeated the Hydra. And I went through and organized a bunch of crap in my bottomless box. I think it's because it's new game. We don't, our new game plus, we don't have to mess around with upgrades and other things. Burn it up. So, when you make yourself your middle point of origin, if your wife were to, say, cheat on you, it's not as devastating because you know what you need to do. You just leave her. And now, granted, it's easier said than done in some cases. If you have a house together, you've been married for 15 years with 3 kids, obviously it's going to require a lot more planning and careful execution. It's not going to change the fact that you leave her. It'll just change how difficult it is and how much time it takes. You know what? I am going to try to get my vitality up as best I can here, so let's do this. I don't know... I should be able to get 2 levels out of this. Maybe? Yeah, 2... Well, darn it. Well, yeah, I think I can get 2. Oh, really close. Look at that. 1 more. So close. I think that's... Darn it. There we go. No, 52,681. Oh, I always do that. I always get so close to it. We'll use the lowest level soul that we got, 200. Now we got it. And then I need the repair box. Like, I need that ASAP. So I forget, this game does not auto-repair your weapon. So I need to be careful not to use the lightning element too much until I get the repair box from Andrea Vestora. Alright. So, when you make yourself your own mental point of origin, it doesn't throw you for as much of a loop because you have your own direction in life. You got your things that you're doing. Your girl isn't your whole life. When your girl is your whole life, like, it is just devastating if she cheats on you or leaves you. If your girl isn't your whole life, if she's just an element in your life and you've got other goals and ambitions and dreams and passions and things that you do and hobbies and friends and family, then she's just one element and it doesn't turn your world upside down. You know, it's never a good thing. It's not like your girl's going to cheat on you and you're just going to go, oh, I don't care. I mean, and that can happen. I got to that point, even though she didn't cheat on me, but I got to the point where I could have literally laughed and said I didn't care. But most of you are not going to be at that point as a relationship is falling apart. That's just not going to be that's not going to be a thing. Most guys can't get to that point until a long time after, and some guys will never get to the point where it won't hurt them. Like, some guys will be divorced for 10-15 years, and if they found out 10 or 15 years later that their wife cheated on them while they were married, their ex-wife rather, it would still hurt them. Oh shit, I thought I had that parry down. Okay, I got clobbered. Take 2. So the question to ask yourself is your first thought how it affects you? Or is your first thought how it affects your wife or your girlfriend? How about this one? This is a prime example I hear all the time. Guy gets asked if he wants to work an overtime shift. Well, you know, I want to, but I need to ask the wife first. Okay, so a lot of people are like, well, yeah, Fox, you know, you need to let the wife know. I mean, why would you, you know, that'd be rude to do that and not tell her. He didn't say, yeah, sure, I would love to. Let me tell my wife. He said, I need to ask my wife first. That's a permissions thing. He said he needs to ask permission first. Literally, let me ask. What is he asking? He's asking permission. Excuse me, guys. Those allergies. My allergies mostly come in the form of coughing and phlegm. I should probably boost that bonfire over there. I can't believe it's only at 5. It's a good idea that after you get the... let me see here. After you get the Rite of Kindling, to take at least all of the primary bonfires to plus 20. And most, if not all of them, to at least plus 10. Because 5 is just not enough, especially in New Game plus, whatever. Alright, that'll be good enough for that one. We don't really use that bonfire for too much. So the other question, too, is... Are you worried about your mother, or your grandmother, or your daughter, or, I don't know, whoever it is whichever woman it is in your life that you make a priority? Do you prioritize yourself, or do you lose yourself in someone else? And it's actually possible to do this for a man. It's possible to prioritize your dad. Like, let's say you're all about your dad's goal of you working at the local, you know, the family company. Well, in that case, you know, you're doing something for your dad instead of for yourself. You're not working at the company because it's in your best interest to do so. You're working there because it's in your dad's best interest for you to do so. Whether financially, whether it's just that's what he wants for you. You need to make the decisions that are best for you, whatever those happen to be. And in most cases, the decision that's best for you is not the same as the decision that's best for your dad, or your mom, or even your wife, or the rest of your family. Fortunately, in most cases, I think the decision that's best for you will probably turn out to be best for your wife and family in the long run. Although not always the case. But you have to be willing to say, look, you know, this is the best thing I need to do for me. And it's not going to hurt the family. I'm not, you know, you're not being horribly selfish and cruel. You're just doing what you need to do in life. Women do it all the time, and they don't think twice about it. Men are the only ones that feel guilty about pursuing their own pleasures. As a general rule, guys, you know, I'm not saying women never feel guilty for pursuing their own goals. But as a general rule, if a woman decides that it's in her best interest to leave a man, she will. It will not matter to her that she swore an oath to, you know, love and to cherish forever, death do us part, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean anything to women. As a general rule, women don't care about oaths and their word and promises and all that crap. That's a man's concept of honor. If you hold yourself to that, it'll just be a handicap in this fight that is life. You'll just be handicapping yourself because the women in your life won't hold themselves to that. They just won't. Most women couldn't give two shits about oaths and their word and promises and all that stuff. Whereas men talk about it, you know, all the time. Men have talked about it for all of eternity. Since we've been recording history, men have valued their word and their oath and all that other crap. Excuse me, but it is a very much masculine concept. And that's the other thing, too, is part of the red pill is understanding what natural inclinations men have that actually hurt them in relationships, especially in modern relationships. Alright. So this is going pretty well. It looks like this playthrough is going to be pretty easy. Now, there are a few cases where I really, really prefer to block. And obviously I won't be able to because I don't have a shield. But we'll see how those go. Got him. Extra Firekeeper Soul. These will function as 5 humanity. Generally, I end up with a shit ton of humanity. In my last couple playthroughs, you guys saw that I had so much humanity. Every time I defeat a boss, the humanity would drop to the ground because I was full on humanity in my inventory. That's pretty typical. Some other questions to ask yourself. If I prioritize myself, will I lose her? And am I okay with that? So the question to think about is this. If you prioritize yourself, make yourself your own mental point of origin, is your first thought, well, if I do that, I might lose her. She might leave, or our relationship might end, and she might not be my girlfriend, or we might get divorced. If that is the thought that enters your mind, that's a weakness that you need to get rid of. Women, women are just as special as every other woman is. You shouldn't believe that any one particular woman is like this necessary, super special woman that you'll never find again, and you absolutely have to have this one. She's the special one for you. That's known as the soulmate myth, or one-itis, or the destiny myth, or fate, or, it's the belief that fate brought us together. We're meant to be together. You're the one for me. There's no other one, and you're my soulmate. God put you in my life for a reason, and blah, blah, blah. 90-some% of people who believe that shit about at least one person they believe that about, that relationship will end disastrously. And what's interesting is that instead of reevaluating that belief, that God ordained this, that it was fate, that she was the special one, or he, if it's a woman, instead, they will find a new target of this misguided notion of the soulmate myth, and then apply the soulmate myth to a new target. They'll be like, okay, well, that wasn't the one, but this one is the one. This is the one that God really wants me to be with. This is that special someone. And, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're just repeating the same mistake. And then when that one falls apart, or just doesn't work out, whether disastrously or not, again, they'll go to the third soulmate, the one for them, the special someone. I had a friend in high school. Every single girl he got involved with was his new special, eternal, forever soulmate. And, he didn't get it. And I didn't think of myself as believing in that nonsense. But you know what? I ended up falling for it after I got married. I didn't believe it when I was in high school. I'd watched him and thought he was an idiot for thinking that every single girl he bumped into is his next new special soulmate. But then, I was married and with the same girl for almost 18 years and started to think that that was something super special, and, there was no replacement for that, and we were meant to be together forever, and blah, 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 and all that crap. That stuff gets you in trouble because you make your mental point of origin the woman. You have this belief, like, you need this woman. This woman has to be in your life. Like, you end up doing things you would never otherwise do just to try to keep her, just to try to make sure you don't anger her, just try to make sure you don't push her away, because you believe that the most important thing is keeping the relationship going. And of course, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is you keeping yourself going, pursuing your dreams and ambitions in life, improving yourself, being a better person, making sure that you're a man that you can respect. Because, if you can't respect yourself, who's going to respect you? Crest of Artorias. Yes. I don't know why I did that. All right, let's pop one of these. I want to buy that crest. Oh. And one more. All right, so now we won't have to worry about getting the souls for it later. And, of course, you need that crest of... Well, you kind of need... I think there is a back way in, but forget that, running through all those nasty, roly-poly cat-rat things. Cat-rat. Rat-cats. Cat-rats. Alright, here we go. We're going to tackle the gargoyles and end this episode on that note. So, some other things about mental point of origin. whenever something comes up, you always need to know, is this a concern of mine, or is this someone else's concern that they're pushing on to me? And that should change how much importance you give to it. For whose benefit do you strive? There's nothing wrong with working for your kids, but if you make your kids your whole life, you're going to find out what happens. It's not going to be good. It sounds good on the surface, but that kind of sacrifice ends up hurting everyone in the end. You like lose yourself. There's no you anymore. Same thing happens when you give yourself up for a woman. We've all known a guy, a friend or brother or father even, who just gives up everything for this new woman he meets. Everything. And we're just like, well, you know, he's not even himself anymore. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you lose yourself when you're not your own mental point of origin. It is such a critical thing. I think in frame is really mental point of origin when you get down to it. I always talk about frame being the foundation of the red pill, and it really is. Mental point of origin is an element of frame. Frame is who has focus, who you're working for, who you're doing everything for, where your goals and ambitions lie. Frame is the idea that you're doing things for you, for your goals, to build yourself up, to build your company or your mission. You know, the idea is that it's about you and your goals and dreams and ambitions and passions, your framework, so to speak. Think of it that way. You're operating in your own framework. Your standards, your values, your traditions, your focuses, foci? Foci? I don't know. Is it focuses or foci? It's that it really is about what you want and what your goals are and where you're going in life, not the woman you're after. A lot of guys will give up their frame for a woman, and that is disastrous in the end because that's not what she wants. Even if she says it is, it's not. Oftentimes people don't know what they want. And a woman does not want you to enter her frame. She wants to know that you have this awesome framework that she can enter. When you give up everything for her, it always goes bad. Always. Even if the relationship doesn't end, you know, you end up with this nagging wife, or you end up with this horrible relationship that you're just not satisfied by. Another question. Do you romanticize the notion of a man sacrificing for a woman? Like, does it give you the little fuzzy worm feelings inside when there was that Las Vegas shooter at the Mandalay Bay, and you saw guys jumping on top of their women to take the bullet? Does that give you that warm, fuzzy feeling inside? Like, yeah, this is masculinity, sacrificing for a woman. You know, let's be honest, does it? Because if it does, that's a beta mindset that you got to kill. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I'm saying if you do that, you better make sure it's for an important reason. Are you jumping on top of your woman to save her, to take a bullet for her, when she is right there seriously considering dumping your ass and she's been screwing your best friend on the side? I mean, seriously, this is real stuff that really happens. Think about this, okay? There are guys that make the ultimate sacrifice for a woman, and she didn't give a shit about him. There was a guy that, you know, he couldn't live without her, killed himself. She took the life insurance money that he had, bought herself breast augmentation, and then married the dude that she was cheating on him with her new set of boobs. You think she cared about him? Where was his mental point of origin? If your mental point of origin is yourself, you wouldn't even consider suicide. You wouldn't even give it to one thought. You wouldn't even give it half a thought. But if your mental point of origin is a woman and the relationship's falling apart, she's leaving you, then yeah, that makes sense. I mean, everything you know is falling apart. Everything that matters to you. So, to you, in that moment, it might make some weird, sort of crazy sense to kill yourself. But if you are your own mental point of origin, it will never make sense to kill yourself over a woman. Never. You wouldn't even think about it. I'm glad that, you know, I was never at that point. but I know so many guys that have been. Guys tell me, I mean, the number one story most men tell of them coming close to killing themselves, the number one reason that story exists, it's almost always because of like a divorce, really bad breakup. Occasionally, guys will consider killing themselves if they lose a really great job, or if they're facing like some serious criminal charge. But generally, if a guy contemplates suicide and tells you that story about it because of some circumstance that has cropped up in his life, it's almost always the breakdown of a relationship. So that's something to consider. All right, let's home Redbone back. And with that, guys, we are going to end this episode. I want to thank you for joining me, episode 1 of our new Fox Chat-Thru. We'll be talking a little bit more about Middle Point of Origin in the next episode, I think. We'll see what happens. I do like to talk about jokes and comedy and how they reveal things about what we believe deep down inside. There's always, you know how they say there's always an element of truth to joke. There's always an element of truth to humor. I do believe that. There's always some element of truth to it. But, you know, jokes are jokes, humor's humor. Don't want to make too big a deal out of it. Well, guys, I'm Fox. I hope you join me for the next one. If you like this video, hit the like button. Leave your comments down below. One of my favorite things about these playthroughs is reading your comments. I really do enjoy doing that. So please leave whatever your thoughts are. The more particular, the more specific, the more argumentative, great. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you totally agree with me, let me know. Whatever it is. If you partially agree but have some different thoughts on it, post down below. You can also hit me up on Twitter. That's where I'm most active. Link in the description, as well as my other social media platforms, Facebook, Gab, and Minds. And, of course, hit that notification bell icon if you want to be notified every time I make an upload, including my new series, reviewing my Steam library. Next episode is due out this upcoming week, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Later, everybody.